real predators for a very long time. Many of the people who took advantage of me, stole from me, misrepresented the situation, lied to me, now they're having to go through their own personal hell. What kind of karma did Tabitha Michelle Cook end up getting for helping predators to sexually assault one of her kin? It's another word for family member, for those of you that don't know. Sorry about the disconnect. A lot of them have come up to me and told me, hey, that feller that's been bugging you, Molnez, he got kicked out of his place because he wouldn't stop fucking with you. Well, I was not too happy with him. She doesn't like me, but she's even more unhappy with him. Let me tell you why. Rule number one, you don't go to the police. That's rule number one. You don't go to the police. They're not your friends. Why didn't Ashley go to the police with me? Because she's afraid of the police. Like nearly everyone else, they're afraid of law enforcement. Is this because they're all criminals? No, it's not. The stuff they do is fucking trivial. It truly is. All of the people whose names are on the front of this are people who have helped me. Apparently, she actually lists the people in that relationship that includes their addictions. And because I don't go kicking them in the teeth over having those addictions, I can get a lot of connection issues. Louis Vuitton bag. Well, guess what? The folks out here have connection issues. Louis Vuitton bag. Well, guess what? The folks out here, it's not about Louis Vuitton bag. It's about getting their drug of choice. For a lot of them, it's about getting some sort of companionship. Everybody's got different motivations. But food, water, and shelter, these are necessities, and nobody should be denied them. Or at least land of their own. But if you don't have that property, which most of you don't, you have no rights. You have your rights as long as you're inside of that domicile, but because you don't own it, your landlord could let the cops in at any point in time. How many of you are aware of that? Why can't you buy a house? It's because there's so many people trying to make a profit off of something they don't have to do shit with. That's right. All they got to do is invest money. Well, at least they have the money to invest. So many people got a habit of saying, oh, well, I worked for it. I earned it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Their asses, backbreaking labor, to never have a goddamn thing. And I've seen people who have a good support network with their family. Nearly everybody I've ever known who has told me that they had to do it all themselves, well, I've got proof they didn't. None of y'all did it yourselves. Now this feller here who wanted to assault me repeatedly, nobody fucking likes him. The people who don't like me, now is it breaking rule number one that pissed all those people off? Only in part. All those folks, the ones that fucked with me and then wanted to throw tantrums at me that later on are kind of sort of on my side, it's because all of those people recognized that they did wrong and that I wasn't trying to hurt anybody. I just wanted the shit to stop. I never came here looking for problems. I didn't come here looking to be the. I didn't come here to get my vehicle beaten on. I didn't come here to be called the N-word or any of that anti-LGBT stuff or any of that anti-Semitic stuff. And it seems some of the folks here, they haven't decided if I'm Jewish or Muslim. So apparently there's that thing going on. So there's a feller named John. He come up and told me a little bit about his situation some more. A lot of those folks down at the camp that Andrew got kicked out of, were they mad at him for messing with me? Yeah, because some of them have already gone through what that actually entails. They also know that if they're not doing, and if back on my radar, it's usually because I'm saying something nice about them, like at least they're leaving me alone. At least they're not yelling at me or screaming at me or throwing shit at me or beating on me or beating my vehicle. Sorry, I'm having connection issues. When these people have decided to talk to me like I'm a human being, or at least avoid me without creating a scene, things do go smoothly. I will leave you alone. I don't have any reason to record you. You're not doing anything to me. Now, once you've done wrong shit, yeah, I'm going to speak up about it. But when you knock it off, I'll speak up about that too. Ashley doesn't mess with me anymore. She doesn't yell anything at me anymore. She doesn't mean mug me anymore. Neither does Robert Farnsworth. Now, there's a lot of people who, well, for example, Scott and Charlie were the ones who were able to get the situation with Ashley to stop. They're also the ones that did their best to try to get the situation with Farnsworth to stop, and they were able to do that too. The fella that's been messing with me the most recent, what did he get kicked out of his camp for? Was it for messing with me? No. It was for cop calling after victimizing somebody. I mean, rule number one is you don't call the cops, they're not your friends. But it's even more fucked up to harass, threaten, intimidate, stalk, and assault somebody and commit property damage against them and then play victim. See, all these people that you want to pretend that I must be some horrible person, these people pursue me, not the other way around. These people come to me to harass me and to harm me, not the other way around. And how dare I speak up about it, right? Well, I've had at least a dozen people in this town tell me that they were maybe not sorry. I'm not going to go accusing them of that. But there's a lot of homeless people out here who did wrong shit just because they heard a rumor that later on did what they could to try to make up for what they'd done. Or at least acknowledge that they had done something that may not have been the correct thing to do. How much of the stuff I have to deal with as far as drug addicts go out here is the same shit I had to go through with Natalie Bollinger and her family. It's druggy bullshit. A lot of people say, man, you should just get the hell away from those people. You can't. When you're homeless, you can't. When I was younger, I was able to, but then again, when I was younger, I was better able to actually physically take care of myself. Ten years ago, my biggest worry in a fight was that I would get arrested if I defended myself, and possibly even if I didn't defend myself. 8 years ago, it became a situation where I couldn't defend myself. There's a difference between being in good physical shape and turtling up when somebody is beating on you just so you don't get in trouble. And when you are in fucked up physical shape and you have to try to turtle up, even though you can't defend yourself against these people, then again, why do they choose me to victimize instead of picking somebody else? That's simple. I'm a homeless, disabled male. They can do whatever they want. Well, in this particular case, the dude did get in trouble, did get kicked out of his camp because he was messing with the police. Sorry, called the police. I'm going to say it that way, although that's not entirely how it happened. The guy kept on coming up to me, beating on my phone, beating on my vehicle, and then crying wolf. Just like the Bollinger family. I'm thankful to Nick. Need to stalk me repeatedly, just like won't stop. He told me, you know what? I've seen what you're going through. I looked your name up on the internet. I've also heard your side of it. Well, they have to some degree, be about the way that I've been treated here. And a lot of them offered violence against Wolnez. And I told them all no. I explained that I hope they don't. I hope they don't get violent. I hope they can find a way to do these things without violence. Now, with him losing his place, he lost it for a reason. See, if you have to call the cops as a homeless person, especially as a homeless woman, people are going to try to understand. They're going to at least try. But when you victimize somebody, and then you call the cops as if you're the one being victimized, and then you want to complain that that person called the cops, it becomes a very, very fucked up situation. Now, I didn't go to the cops to begin with Wolnez. Why didn't I? Because I'd already gone to the cops multiple times about situations here, and they don't care. They showed they don't care. They're going to send me around in circles for mental help. That doesn't stop the predators. I actually needed an actual friend or family member to care before the police were going to do anything. And he lost his place to stay there at the homeless camp. Yeah, it was because he called the cops, but it wasn't just because he called the cops. They would have at least tried to understand if they weren't already aware of the situation with me and aware of the repercussions for messing with me. I can forgive you if you knock off the behavior. I am entirely capable of that. How many of you are? How many of you are going to hold a grudge no matter what? Anyway, I do feel bad for the guy losing his stuff and losing his place. The fella who talked to me this morning, he said, you know what? The thing we were sick of is, the dude messes with the same shit as everyone else. For him to pretend like he doesn't do drugs and go accusing you of doing shit you don't do, that's pretty fucked up. And then for him to call the cops after all them times he assaulted you, we just got sick of it. And I let the gentleman know I understand that. I've had plenty of people in my life that I had to let go, had to distance myself from, because they did exactly that. What those people did with Wolnez, that's the same thing that I did with Natalie and Alicia Bollinger and Maddie Boa. Like, hey, if you're going to be doing that shit, you don't get to be a part of my life. If you're going to be doing that shit to other homeless people, yeah, we're not going to be able to trust you. A lot of these people are still slightly pissed off at me because I record shit and put it on the internet. And even though some of these people are pissed off because they're on my channel, they're recorded on my channel, the fact is, in this particular case, they did not side with him. They sided with me, the guy they're mad at. But also, all of these people have acknowledged, at least to some degree, their wrongdoing, how inappropriate it was, and they've done at least something to stop it. Now, these other folks, when Scott talked to them, and when Charlie talked to them, or Jennifer talked to them, they knocked their shit off. Thank goodness. But this one guy, no, that's not the case, is it? No, he told one set of people, David and Jennifer, that he had apologized to me. That never happened. He told some other stories to some people about how he got... Oh, that was David and Jennifer as well. Told me he was saying he got awards for being such a humanitarian. The guy who talked to me this morning, pretty much all he could say about the situation is that the guy's an asshole. And they all put up with him because they all know him. But, this is beyond fucked up. I mean, not only did he victimize another homeless person, what does that do? I want them to feel safe. Get violent with these folks. With your bear mace. It's because he keeps doing this shit. I'm sorry got my chargers back just a few minutes ago. So I'm trying to search through my vehicle, make a video, and fucking, hey, there is too much shit in here. Oh. Alright. The folks who are mad at me here that are on the streets, yeah, they're mad about it being public and on YouTube. They've also noticed how quickly it gets buried and how quickly people stop fucking with them because of that. Yeah, there's a lot bigger fish to fry. Which one of them stripped me off? Amount. Well, there we go. He didn't get kicked out of his camp for messing with me, and he didn't get kicked out of his camp for calling the cops. He got kicked out of his camp because of both of those situations. And somebody is all strung out on drugs, and they want to go claiming that somebody else, who all these people know, all of them know that I do smoke cigarettes. All of them know that as long as they treat me like a person and talk to me like a person, yeah, I can let bygones be bygones. As long as you don't continue with your, she'd probably get it. I understand that a lot of them trying out to get me in that way. That when people asked him to leave me alone, unlike when people asked Ashley to leave me alone, she did. When James and Jennifer and Scott and Pun all went and talked to Farnsworth, he stopped. Now, in a lot of these situations, people's first go-to is to offer up violence or to say that they were going to get violent. And I let those people know that I don't want violence. I want it to be dealt with without violence or the threat of violence. And I'm thankful that the people that I went to, even the ones that offered violence, I'm thankful that rather than getting violent, they did try to deal with it appropriately. The way that Scott and Pun were able to help put a stop to the stuff with Ashley and also with Farnsworth. The way that Jeff has treated me. Yeah, he doesn't go out of his way to come hang out with me or anything like that. If he sees me, he's always just walked his own way, but you know what? He's also never been rude or inconsiderate or mean towards me. The feller here let it go. It's hard to let it go when he keeps doing that stuff. It's hard to let it go when he's not the only one who does it. The fella who came and spoke with me this morning, he said, yeah, you know, he was yelling in camp, Wolnez has really got it in for you. 3 or 4 times in about a 30-second period. When you go bullying somebody like that, you bring bad mojo to the whole group. All of those people, even the ones that are mad at me, and yeah, I understand why they're mad. I spoke up when they did something messed up, but the other thing is they corrected their behaviors. That's the difference here. Worth corrected his behaviors. Those people actually made a change in their behaviors towards me. Tyler, all those folks down at that camp are aware of who I am. Many of them talk to me like I'm a human being. They also tell me about their drug addictions and their family issues. For the most part, it's drug addiction issues, though. They all know that I record. Every one of them. There's a lot of people that to help out in their own way. But the street folks, you got to understand they're afraid of the police for a reason. They're also afraid of getting treated like a rat. Just saying. Yeah, you should probably your days of street people over. Because there was that much abuse and because people's lives were at stake. A lot of people who wanted to act exactly in the same way. There were street people. What is the key figure in all this? Mag Boa and Alicia Bollinger's bullshit. Natalie Bollinger's bullshit. Tim Beeson's bullshit. Ted Bollinger's bullshit. Wanted the set. But I went through some of the conversations with people that I'd gotten a hold of when I was being assaulted. And yeah, of 2016. But away from Natalie Bollinger. And people pretend that I drugged me, shoved me, telling me to get the fuck about it. For people out here, there's a lot of people at a homeless camp don't like me. Take my side on an issue over the side of somebody that they've known for 20 years or more. I was told this morning that he was throwing tantrums and breaking things camp. I didn't ask if it was his stuff he was breaking or somebody else's. The point at that particular juncture was that he was making a big scene about something that he had done. And he didn't want to fess up to it. He didn't want to admit to it. The guy also said, you know what? He was saying this is all over some racist kids. And the guy also said, well, those kids down there are racist. So at least it's the truth. Is it okay to hurt somebody for telling the truth? A bunch of people down there that are not happy with me. They at least, every one of them, knows that I told the truth about the situation. They also know that I'm not going out of my way to create problems for them. Good to be with you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper. And your sister's keeper too. And no victim left behind. Everybody at the Safeway who's been so kind to me, thank you. To the people in this town who've made sure that I'm able to eat, even with all the restrictions at the churches that I have to endure. Now, before you say those restrictions are self-induced, it's a choice for me to not go to places where I'm abused. When you're in a camp full of people that don't like you, and they don't like the fact that you're messing with fire, and that is how these people see it. Messing with me is messing with fire. When I speak up on my YouTube channel, people don't fucking like it. And even though half the people at that camp have been on my channel, they still didn't take his side. See, he broke rule number 1, which is you never go to the police. They're not your friends. What's rule number 2? You don't take advantage of other homeless people. You don't take advantage of street people. He broke 2 very important rules out here. Did I break those rules as well? No. No, I didn't. I didn't speak up to victims. They may not see themselves as predators in the situation, but they're at least able to look at the situation and realize why I'm having such a problem, having such an issue with it, and that their behaviors were predatory in that situation, and it was unwarranted. They may be angry with me for speaking up, but at least they admit that I was in the right. At least they acknowledge the fact that I wasn't out to hurt anybody. I was doing my best to protect me and mine. And even people who did fucked up shit to me, I still stuck up for them. With Farnsworth, I was told over and over and over again to stop making excuses for him. A lot of people out here were telling me, of course, they were making excuses for him by saying he was mentally ill and that, you know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But those very same people, when I say he's got some issues that don't have anything to do with me, I'm trying to remember the point I was trying to get to there, actually. When I say those things, the same things that they're saying, I just use a little bit different words. I'm not going to say mentally ill. It's a fucking insult. If I do use it, I am specifically using it on fucking work. Jesus Christ. If someone is schizophrenic, if you're depressed because your baby just died, yeah, you're going to be depressed. That's a real human emotion. If you're depressed because your imaginary kid died, that's a different story. Messing with me at a church, 2 churches, matter of fact. But I love having a beard. Feel scratching it. He got ejected from the areas. He's not allowed in safe. They don't want to camp with him because he's volatile. Actual volatile, actual dangerous, actually abusive. Am I abusive? Oh, hell yes. Verbally. I'm not going to apologize for that because that never should have been necessary. When I speak to people calmly as a human being, they don't take it seriously and they think it's their turn to speak. If I scream at the top of my lungs and hoot and holler about the abuse, that's a different story. Because at that point, you may be bitching at me about the way that I'm having to do it. But at least you're acknowledging it. No victim left behind.